Dear friends, we are already moving from Washington to the south of the United States to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump. In addition to other important topics, we will definitely talk about the agreement we signed in Washington, which forms the basis for cooperation between the Slovak and American governments in nuclear energy. In addition to the agreement, we will also open the door to the annual delivery of U.S. nuclear technology to Slovakia in order to build and put into operation in the years 2040 to 41 a completely new nuclear power plant with a capacity of 1,200 megawatts on the territory of the current atomic power plant in Jaslovská Bohunice. Slovakia will be one of the exceptional countries because it will have experience in the field of the civil nuclear program with both Russian and American technologies. I would like to thank the Vice President of the government and the Minister of Economy, Denis Sakovi, for the excellent preparation of the agreement. We need a new nuclear power plant. Some of our reactors are gradually running out of life. In addition, we must react to increased energy consumption, to electromobility. I am interested in building data centers and creating conditions for artificial intelligence. Slovakia must also have the ambition to be an exporter of electric energy. This is all the reason why we want to have a new nuclear power plant in 100% ownership of the state. Although we have 6 functional reactors in Jaslovská Bohunice and Mochovce today, although they are machines for money, we own only 34% of this nuclear wealth. Because the same people as today sit in the opposition, have wildly privatized Slovak energy and put it in someone else's hands. They have never built anything. Even at the entrance to the European Union in 2004, they agreed to the closure of 2 healthy and freshly modernized blocks of the nuclear power plant in Jaslovská Bohunice just to pay for Brussels. In order to ensure the energy security of Slovakia, I decided to build 2 blocks in Mochovce in 2008. Despite the fact that the resistance against the nuclear power plant was then in the organs of the European Union, our decision in 2008 was timeless and right. And the same is the decision to build a completely new, huge nuclear power plant into the hands of the state and diversify the suppliers of technology, who will have a source in the near future, ensuring the self-sufficiency of the country in electricity, and at the same time, the ability to export electricity will be a safe country. Slovakia, therefore, will never be an economic or military superpower. However, it can be significant for international players, because without electricity, you will not produce a single car or a single car. If we still start fighting with senseless, literally stupid, climate targets that liquidate the European industry, Slovakia will be an even more significant country. Such an energy policy is also the basis for a stable and affordable price of electricity for Slovak households and industries. We will not have to invent any energy aid for people to be able to pay for electricity, whose price is astronomical and literally declassifies European competitiveness. Today, we have made for the future a strong and safe Slovak war. Let us not allow it to show us either a harmful Brussels green ideology or a dependent, independent, and incapable anti-Slovak opposition, which has once again shown itself in all its glory. Dear friends, I would like to greet you from early Washington, where my work visit to the United States of America begins. I would like to ask the anti-Slovenian opposition and the media with full seriousness to preserve at least the last remnants of the duality in connection with this visit. I am consistently and predictably in foreign policy all the time as the chairman of the government. I support the sovereign Slovak foreign policy oriented on all 4 sides of the world, based on the bilateral maintenance of international law, non-interference in the internal affairs of other countries, respect for world leaders, and the fight for Slovak national state interests. I am not among those European politicians who one day appoint Russian President Vladimir Putin as Hitler, anyone who wants to talk to him as a Russian agent, and then the next day when they find out that they are losing in a row, talk about the need to enter into a dialogue with him. I am not among those who consider the Chinese way of doing their own business to then bow to the ground on a red carpet in Beijing to get good business opportunities. The work route to the United States is in full accordance with the sovereign Slovak foreign policy. Slovakia needs new sources of electricity production, and from our own experience, we can confirm that demanding climate goals and rising energy needs cannot be satisfied without nuclear energy. After very good experiences with the Russian side, we are diversifying, and we are interested in the construction of a new nuclear power plant in Jaslovská Bohunice in cooperation with American partners. That is why we are changing today to sign a framework agreement between the governments of the United States and Slovakia. Only after signing this agreement can we start talking about concrete cooperation between Slovakia and American and other companies in the construction of a new nuclear power plant. I would not like to act as a German politician who, in the name of ideological green madness, first closed all nuclear sources so that today's federal chancellor Friedrich Merz would talk about a huge mistake. Already in 2008, my government made the right decision, despite the huge resistance in the European Union, to get the third and fourth blocks of the nuclear power plant in Mokovsk. Dear friends, if my visit to the United States and the meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump should be part of my visit, I can only welcome it very much. I have already gotten used to the fact that after important meetings, for example with the Russian or Chinese president, I was designated as a Russian and Chinese agent. Therefore, I am not surprised that today the opposition and the media are accusing me that I am already an American agent, which is quite shocking because we are together with the United States in the North Atlantic Alliance. I was, I am, and I will be only an agent of the Slovak Republic. I don't care about anything else. I am threatened by the rhetoric against the Slovak opposition and the media, which is a mixture of madness, hatred, and ignorance. For every prime minister of a small country, it must be an honor to have the opportunity to talk to world leaders and gain information that the anti-Slovak opposition will never get because of its stupidity. In conclusion, I realize that the opposition wants to call an extraordinary economic election of the National Council because of the road to the United States and the intention to build a new nuclear block. It's all about pure superstition. But if they want to do it, let them do it first, as they helped in the years 2020 to 2023 to the strategic producer of aluminum in Žiary nad Hronom to the grave. And as guests, they should sit there Matović, Heger, and that genius from progressive Slovakia, Odor, who respectfully implanted the last pieces of aluminum into the shell of Slovakia. And the second point, I can foretell the difficulty of Šimeček Jr., that he sits lower in the European election than I do, which he considers an extraordinarily important impact on his personality. I have already given him a high bank, which he can put under his ass as soon as possible. Only a fool would not use the readiness of the country in Jasov hospitals to build a new nuclear block. We have the EU. We have the permission to place buildings. It would only take a decade to obtain these permissions. Even the greatest oppositionists know that the nuclear power plant is literally a machine for money in the current European setting of the prices of electricity, and it will easily earn money for the costs of its construction. So let the dogs bark. The caravan goes on. We are a proud, brave, hard-working nation with unique experiences with the core, and there is a nuclear boom in the world. It would be madness not to use all these circumstances. I am proud to be Slovak, and I will do everything to represent our beloved power not only in the United States, but also all over the world.